I am Jim Cook, and this is the Long Island International Film Expo. You are watching Reel-LIIFE, and I am with...
Michelle Ortega.
And what's the name of your film?
The Single Ladies of New York.
Gee, I wonder what that's about. Tell us more about your film.
It's about women of various ages, like starting in their 20s to 60, looking for love in New York, and it shares like dating tips, do's and don'ts, from the ladies themselves, and just some of the unique hurdles and also benefits of dating in New York, and also has like dating expert and things like that.
So, the basic question, what led you into wanting to make that documentary?
Well, basically, I moved to New York from California, and I was single for the first time in like 15 years because I had just recently gotten divorced, and the whole thing of being single was really new and kind of intimidating to me, and also being over 40 too in a very young city. And so I just found talking to other women who are single just helped me understand and feel better about it. So I thought I need to make a documentary about this. So that's kind of where it started.
So, did you say you were coming back from New York, or are you just...
Moving to New York from California.
So what was the change in terms of the people and the men and so forth living in New York as opposed to California?
Well, it's interesting because I'd been married in California, so I never thought about the single scene too much, so it was really new. But what I heard from my single friends was there's many more women here than men, and men have it easy, and all this stuff because there's so many gorgeous women here, and it's difficult, and no one wants a real relationship, and all that. So, but what's funny is that after 2 weeks of moving here, I ended up meeting someone who's my boyfriend I'm now living with, 2.5 years later, and we've been having an awesome relationship. So it can happen.
It can happen. So what did you learn from all the women that you have interviewed and all their do's and don'ts? What have you learned from their experiences?
I think people just really want someone who's honest and respectful towards them. And I think that, everyone just wants to be loved. And it seems like a lot of people really wanted long-term relationships and that sort of thing. I didn't run into too many people who just wanted, one-night stands and that sort of thing, which I found surprising being in New York, but I don't know.
I do want to ask you, though, when I saw your film, it was just strictly all women and so forth, but why not provide a counter opinion, or not really a counter opinion, but broaden it to also just squeeze in a few men in there and see what they have to think? Just the why, I don't want to say the word exclude them, but why was that point of view not put in there?
Actually, I do want to expand it. My initial thought was that I wanted to make a feature-length documentary, and so I was starting the Kickstarter thing and all knew about it, but I just didn't want to wait till I got all the funds to do the whole thing. So I'm I want to start with this and see where it goes. And I figured since my focus was from a woman's perspective coming at this, that's where I would go first. But there's so many more perspectives I want to get. I do want to get the male perspective. I've learned some really interesting things from the single men in New York, from their perspective on this. I also want to represent the LGBT community who is not in there yet, and so there's a lot more I want to do. So this is the beginning, the way I see it. So,
as a beginning, I have to say it was a very touching and actually also very funny. Your film, every once in a while, somebody just tells their experience, and there's a reference to a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich that just had me in tears. So was there anything that was left out that you would have liked to have seen put back in, or if was there anything that you had to leave out that was difficult?
So many just little moments that I just thought, oh, I love that line, but how does it fit in the overall storyline? If you call me crazy, you're going to see my crazy. Lines like that where I'm just, some of my favorites, but it just couldn't fit into the story. But I think if I were to expand it and make it longer, then there's a lot more I can fit in.
It's definitely a challenge making a documentary. You've got so much good stuff that you can capture. So, you have the hopes and dreams of making it a feature, but where are you taking this short right now?
Basically, I'm just submitting it to festivals right now and trying to get more of an online presence, doing the whole Twitter thing and social media, so trying to get aligned with other dating sites and folks that would be interested in this material. So
that's a smart idea. Really like that. How did you hear about LIIFE?
I was looking about film festivals on Without a Box, and just things in the New York area, and Life came up, and I always do my research, and it just had a great reputation, and it's been around for a while, and so I thought, oh, this looks wonderful. My boyfriend was born in Long Island, so I thought.
Where was he born?
I'm not sure exactly which part
That's
of
okay.
Long Island.
That's okay. It's Long Island. It's good.
It's in Long Island.
Okay. Very good. Well, thank you very much.
Thank